Lifetime does a beautiful job at finding stories that are ripped from the headlines. And as an actor, art depicts life. And so what yummier story to tell than a real life story? And to be pushed from a plane. I mean, who could imagine? First, I was buried alive and survived, and now pushed from a plane. But there's one thing that is a theme in all of this. It's what do you do for love? And this woman is a woman who just truly believes in love. She spent her entire career working, consummate professional, serial entrepreneur, very proud of her accomplishments. But I think the biggest thing she wants to accomplish in life is to have someone to share it with. And so she's not looking for a man with a whole lot of money or to check all these boxes. She wants someone to put thrill back into her. And does she find him?
Check that box.
Oh yeah. One of the more challenging parts of this film, the stunts are always, and I love that. But I think one of the most challenging parts was kind of getting quiet and finding those very heartfelt moments. I mean, even of him proposing to me in Vegas, it was obviously scripted. I knew I was going to do it, but there was something that was so sweet about the idea of finally being chosen and finally finding that one that wants to risk it all and not sure of what the future may bring, but whatever it is, we want to do it together. I think that was one of the most difficult because it was so heart-touching. One of the things I learned about this more than anything is that when you fall, get back up. And especially in love. You know, a lot of times in love, you're like, oh, I did it once. I will never do that again. Oh my goodness, my heart was broken. But how do you enjoy the sun unless you've been in the rain? And so what I've learned from this is that the resilience in this character in Janae, she's one of those women that won't give up. She's so optimistic. And I think that at a time in the world right now where hope is all we have, to see someone that is literally pushed up against the wall time and time again, and the desire to do it again, the relationships that don't work out, and the sister's like, girl, please, he's not the one. But there is a hope in her that maybe he is. And there's a joy in that. And there's something that I took away to never give up. No matter how many times you fall, you're promised to fall. But a winner is a person that fell and got back up again. So that's what I learned. This does not make me want to go skydiving at all, but it did teach me to read those red flags. When you see those red flags, ladies, in these men, believe them. No, but seriously, what it did is it opened up my idea to something new. I think a lot of times we want something fresh, we want something new, but we're not willing to do anything new. We do the same thing over and over and we expect excitement. And so I think this is her opportunity to truly try something new, so outside of the box, beyond afraid, and to do it through the fear. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if anyone has seen, but last year, 2025, I did a show called Special Forces. That was a real scream. I almost died. Literally almost died. They didn't show everything, but they had to like resuscitate me. I drowned. It was crazy. And I look back at it, and there's so many ways as an entertainer I could take this, right? You know, I could be very upset at production and I was supposed to be safe. And, you know, I could be very upset at production and I was supposed to be safe and all this and that. But the truth is when we get up in the morning and we have the audacity to look life in its face and try it, you might hurt yourself. You might die trying to do it. You might actually win, but you have to try. And so I push away fear. I walk through fear. I walk through the tears, through the fire, because they say, there's a saying, I was at a king ceremony not too long ago, and they say the grass is not greener on the other side, but the grass is greener where you grow it and where you water it. And so it's about watering where you're at and being happy about where you're at. The what ifs are exactly that. They're the what ifs, but the what ifs often come with pessimism also. It's always the what if, the bad thing. But Janae lives in the what if the good thing. What if the good thing, what if he does love me? What if this is my happy ever after? And so I will jump out of that airplane, just in case, because what if this is my true love? And I will never know unless I jump. So strap me up, parachute, let's go. When I went in to do Special Forces, I was excited. I knew that it would push me beyond my limits. I have my father and my brother who both served in the service. My brother, career military. And his advice was nothing lasts forever. And I can swim really well. So water was not my fear. It was being underwater for the amount of time I was underwater and trying to do a challenge and complete a task with someone else. And so there's a part of you that reminds you that nothing in this world is to be done alone. Even underwater, holding breath, if you don't work as a team, you will not succeed to your best. And though I got out perfectly fine, super elated that I got out to the point where I passed out. And then when I passed out, all I remember was being slapped and woken up. Thank God I survived. But it just taught me so much about myself that if I can put my mind to it, I can do it. It really is a mental game. And I'm only as good as my partner. And so my success is as good as his success. I don't look at anything alone. None of this is by myself. And so I truly learned teamwork. Oh, it's extremely traumatizing. Yeah. There is an amount of quarantine you have to do afterward. Doing Special Forces and even like stunts on this film, there is an adrenaline that you live in. And so you might land hard on your shoulder, but you don't feel it. You don't feel landing hard, like my fight sequences and things like that, and Special Forces running up 5 miles. It didn't feel like 5 miles. If you tell me to run 5 miles in my suburban neighborhood right now, I'm sweating after 2. But when you're in the middle of just trying to get it done, that adrenaline pushes you so much further. And then when it's over, everything aches. Everything hurts. But you don't feel it when you're trying to get through it. It's like having a baby. You know, a mother never remembers the pain of the childbirth. All I remember is holding my beautiful babies. I actually would do Special Forces again. I would, because there's something about wanting to grow in everything I do. I don't think that there is the day I expire is my last day of growth. And so I would do it again. I would just prepare a lot more before I would. But I'm gonna keep my hair charms because my hair charms are what found me in that murky water. I was teased about having flashy hair only for it to be my salvation. Never get rid of who you are, because of who you are will end up being your salvation. My biggest role I've ever played beyond this, Special Forces, top model, anything, is being a mom to those kids. And I hope I get that role right. What I have learned is that love is forever. Love is everlasting. And as it says in the Bible, it's patient. And sometimes we call it patience, but we still put like a deadline on that patience. And love it doesn't do that. It doesn't boast. It doesn't take score. It doesn't point fingers. And so I have learned what love truly is, not the feeling of being in love and not that flirty yumminess, but when it's really hard, when it's difficult, when it's about you looking inside of yourself. I've learned, and it has been a beautiful discovery of self, of him, of family, and of others. I think we walk out of the house with our masks on every day, and we have so many different masks we wear. And then we come home and we hang the masks up in the closet, and the people that we're there with, our children and our loved ones, they're the one that see the real us. And so learning how to be okay without the mask, walking out of the house, in the house, not having to put it up and explain yourself. Just learning more of me, therapy. Therapy is very necessary. And it's not for them, it's for me. It's not for him, and couples therapy is great, but it's more so learning me and my bandwidth. I think I charged people to make me happy in spaces that was only my job. And learning that you take the charge off of others, put accountability on yourself, and the way you love yourself is like no one else can anyway. You know what? I am a sucker for Salt Lake right now. Please do not kill me. I am a fool. I have watched every episode. every character. Mary, Martha Ann Cosby. I don't know where you found this woman from. She is a national treasure. Lisa Barlow. There's no one like her. Meredith Marks, Whitney, Rose. Oh my God, my New York Times bestseller, Heather. I am crazy over Salt Lake right now. Andy, I'm in love. You did a thing with Salt Lake. Atlanta, I just love to see the girls keep juking and keep going. I believe that it is a representation that needs to be had. It is a real representation, and I love that Atlanta just keeps doing its thing. And then Potomac. Potomac's juicy. I haven't seen the reunion yet. Please don't tell me. I need to know what's going on. Oh my God, I am just so happy. The Grand Dame is back. Karen Hugler, she is my girl. And I'm excited to see everyone's grow up and glow up, you know? We met Ashley a zillion years ago. Now we see this woman she's budded to be. And yeah, I'm a fan. I never say never, but I'm looking into scripted. That's my joy and my businesses and my babies. But I am a fan. I must say, I do watch. This was such a long time ago, and this was at a time where reality TV was just so different. The parameters around it, the title, it was called an unscripted docuseries. It wasn't even called reality TV yet. And so to look back at it now, for the first question, season 3 that I was on, I don't look at it any different than my experience, because that was my experience. Now I will be completely honest and say I'm sure I'm biased considering that I won the show. But it wasn't without its drama. I looked back at it. I was like, wow, we did have to run 3 miles and do a photo shoot. It was crazy. But I also, while I was on there, I looked at it as a boot camp. I looked at it as an opportunity to give me something that the world would never give me, and put me in a position to do something that the world said I could never do. And so Top Model was a place that cracked the door open. And it was for every girl that saw that door mildly ajar, busted open. That was our job. And that's the way I took it. And so for me in my season, I still stand by how I feel and what Tyra did for me, and reminding me about my relatability and what my biggest asset was as a star. But I did watch the documentary, and it was jaw-dropping to see what happened seasons prior to me. Going in my season, I had no clue about Shandy, like absolutely no clue. No clue about Adrienne and what she had been through. And then the seasons passed, the color changing, and I mean, no wonder every time I promote a movie or a TV show, they ask me about Top Model. Because there's so much going on. And so in hindsight, looking at that and now it being a revelation for me, it's horrible. But I also know that it's horrible, period. With that, we have to remember that we are using 2026 glasses to look at something that happened in 2003 and 2004. And at that time, it was a different time. It just was. Golden Girls started with a gay guy as the best friend, and he was quickly shoved off before the season was even over. I mean, we can pull the cat back on every television show, everything in the industry, and you will find ills. I did Young and the Restless, and I had the fortunate opportunity to have Lucille Ball's dressing room, which is so cool. But all of her smoking paraphernalia was right there. Now, clearly, CBS, you're not smoking on lot, but 30 years ago they did, and it wasn't a problem. They smoked on an airplane. They had, this is smoking, this is not smoking. And smoke's going everywhere, you know? And so I think we do ourselves a disservice, not appreciating how far we have come and how much she actually has changed the industry, not without, you know, the pencil she wrote in that needed an eraser because some things were not to be inked. But I don't think that her ills outweigh what she intended on doing and what she actually ended up doing. Because I walk into a room and I am known as Eva, not the model girl, not the this and not the that. And not because it wasn't hard. It was very difficult to pay my dues, but she gave me the opportunity to pay my dues on the back end. And a lot of entertainers have to pay it on the front end, and then they're famed. A lot of people from Top Model didn't realize becoming famed doesn't mean that you now have a career. You have to go fight for that career. And so that's what I feel like was missing on Top Model because I got the scarlet letter. I changed my name to Marcille so that when I walked into an audition, I wasn't prejudged. But I'm prejudged in everything I do. And so I am not going to hang my hat on Tyra and make it as if she is the reason why the industry has been difficult. The industry is difficult because it is difficult, period. Us did me a service and helped me a lot. And I'm very appreciative of her. Learning about the judges who taught us how to model and who are beloved by us. I just literally ate lunch with Mr. J last week, talked to Miss J this morning, you know. Nigel Barker has the best espresso martini, by the way, which I drink regularly. So I do direct TV commercials with them. I'm really good friends, but I had no idea. It's so sad. It's so sad. I covet and I keep my friends very close to my heart when it comes to my business. And so to see the pioneers of something so epic end up falling out the way it did and not be properly celebrated, and everything comes to an end. And so instead of it coming to an end in a harmonious, celebratory type of a fashion, it's really sad to see the way the fallout happened because it didn't have to. I don't know what the world wants from Tyra. I know I heard her say sorry multiple times. I'm not one to tell you how genuine I thought it was or was not. I definitely heard it. But I think it's really hard when your back is up against the wall and the entire business is now pointing a finger at you, and not for anything you did good, but for only your flaws. I mean, if you pulled the cat back on everyone and we only picked out flaws, we'd be a mess of a people. And so I truly do, because this is the day and age where we gaslight and we blackball and we cancel. It's a cancel culture, and I don't think she deserves that. I think that just like all of your best classic films, sometimes it's best just left alone. I think that what she set out to do, she did a great job at. And what she has coming in store, from ice cream to anything else her beautiful brain can create, I think that's to come. But yeah, I think it's a bit too soon for 25. just a little too soon. Snow's still outside. Let's wait till the summertime.